Mark 5:25-34. Kasama rin doon ng isang babaeng 12 taon ang dinudugo. Hirap na siya sa sakit na yon at marami ng doktor ang sumuri sa kanya. Naubos na ang kanyang ari-arian sa pagpapagamot, ngunit hindi pa rin siya gumaling. Sa halip, lalo pang lumala ang kanyang karamdaman. Nabalitaan niya ang tungkol kay Jesus, kaya't nakipagsiksikan siya hanggang sa makalapit sa likuran ni Jesus at hinipo ang damit nito. Sapagkat iniisip niyang mahipo ko lang ang kanyang damit, gagaling na ako. Agad ngang tumigil ang kanyang pagdurugo at naramdaman niyang magaling na siya. Naramdaman agad ni Jesus na may kapangyarihang lumabas sa kanya, kaya't bumaling siya sa mga tao at nagtanong, "Sino ang humipo sa aking damit?" Sumagot ang kanyang mga alagad, "Nakikita po ninyong napakaraming nagsisiksikan sa paligid nyo. Bakit po niyo tinatanong kung sino ang humipo sa damit nyo?" Subalit lumingon-lingon si Jesus upang tingnan kung sino ang humipo sa damit niya. Palibasa'y alam ng babae ang nangyari, siya'y nanginginig sa takot na lumapit kay Jesus. Nagpatira pa at ipinagtapat ang buong katotohanan. Subalit sinabi sa kanya ni Jesus, "Anak, pinagaling ka ng iyong pananampalataya. Umuwi ka na at ipanatag mo ang iyong kalooban, ikaw ay magaling na." The healed woman revisited. Bakit revisited? Madaming beses na nating pinag-aralan ang kwentong ito. Subalit ang dalangin natin ay patuloy na magkaroon tayo ng mga bagong mga nalalaman at mga napapala sa paulit-ulit na pag-aaral. Our Father, we thank you that we can continue to review these beautiful stories that contain lots of lessons for us. Ngayon, turuan niyo po kami makakita ng mga bagong application. Magkaroon kami ng mga bagong paglalapat nito sa aming buhay at ng pakinabangan na niloloob niyong matanggap namin ay lubusan naming maunawa. Kayo ang maging tagapagsalita. Be our preacher, our teacher, and healer. We ask you, Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus. Mark 5:25-34, isa-isahin nating balik-balikan at himay-himayin. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. Mahirap ang kalagayan niya, yung marami nga sa kababaihan, monthly period lang nila, hirap na hirap pa. Ito pa 12 years. 12 years na siya nagbe-bleed. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. Merong napaka-literal na kahulugan ng kwentong ito on the ground. Isang totoo, literal na taong babae na dinurugo, naubos ang kayamanan sa paghahanap ng lunas, pero hindi pa rin gumaling. Lumala lang. At mayroong ibang katotohanan nito in a spiritual realm. Say, in religious terms. Marami mga tao na nauubos ang lakas, ang kayamanan, ang panahon, ang oras sa paghahanap ng lunas sa kanilang mga spiritual and emotional issues. At hinahanap nila ito sa religion, pero naubos na lang ang lahat-lahat, hindi pa rin sila gumaling, lumalala pa. Lalo na yung mga tao naghahanap ng kagamutan sa kanilang emotional troubles, sa mga imbalances in their emotional and spiritual life. Tapos, nagkataon pang sumali sa very Pharisaic, law-based and law-centered religiosity na lalo lang silang tumanggap ng pag-uusig, pangungutya, pagtanggi, pagsipa, pamumula at pagbibigay sa kanila at pagpapataw ng sari-sari mga kaparusahan. Naubos na lang ang lahat-lahat ng lakas, time, talent, and treasure, lumalala lang ang kalagayan. Ganito rin yung nangyari sa babaeng yan. At siya ay nag-isip-isip. Nabalitaan niya si Jesus, ang kapangyarihan nito. At hindi malayong isipin natin na nabalitaan din niya kung gaano kabuti si Jesus, kung gaano siya kabait, kung gaano siya kaiba sa mga teachers of the law and Pharisees and the priests that presided over the lives of these Israelites at that time. Alam niya na pwede siyang humipo sa damit ni Jesus. Bagamat yun ay pinagbabawal ng Jewish law. Napaka-strict ng Jewish law, especially for women who are bleeding. They are considered unclean. Hindi sila pwedeng humawak kanino man, hindi sila pwedeng mahawakan. In fact, ang inupuan lang nila ay hindi pwedeng upan ng ibang tao in the next few hours or in the next whole full day. Ganon yung ka-strict. Dinudugo ka na nga, naghihirapan ka na, restricted ka pa na maghanap ng kagalingan. Kung ito ay mangangailangan na humawak ka sa panggagalingan ng kapangyarihan. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak. Isang napakapangahas na ginawa ng babaeng ito na humipo siya maging sa laylayan lamang ng damit ni Jesus. Because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Pansin din natin dito ang kapangyarihan ng kanyang pananalig. Sabi niya, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. If I get connected with him in a physical way, even through the clothes, I will be healed by his powerful love. Needless to say, the woman broke Jewish law by touching Jesus, who was sent by while she was bleeding. As it is nga, hindi siya nagbi-bleed, hindi siya dapat mag-touch. Nagbi-bleed pa. Leviticus 15, 19 to 25 is very elaborate sa pag-explain ng mga hindi pwedeng gawin at ng unclean woman who is bleeding. Immediately, at dahil nabasa na natin yung buong kwento, alam natin gumaling yung babae. May lesson agad. Beware, mga mahilig sa Jewish law. Maraming needless restrictions, abstentions, pagtitiis, deprivations, yung mga napakahilig magpailalim sa Jewish law. That's why Jesus came, to free the Jews from the law. Because they were the people who were under the law. At kasama na rin dyan, all other people who are under the law and who volunteered to join the Jews being under the law. At kasama dyan na maraming Christians. Kasi ang Christianity, nung umusbong, lumago, they decided that they wanted to be also under the law, the Jewish law. Samantalang, obviously, yung Christianity was already a different religion from Judaism or Judaism. Pero nagkaroon ng mga pagtutunggali at mababasa natin yan sa Book of Acts, kung saan yung mga conservative Jews were trying to impose the Jewish law, the laws of Moses, on new Christians, even converts from the Gentiles. Ang law kasi para sa Jews lang yan eh. Gentiles naman hindi kasali. Pero nung naging Christian yung mga Gentiles, pinilit din ng mga makahudyong Christians in Jerusalem na sundin ng mga Gentile Christians yung Jewish law. So, ang tingin nila, yung Christianity will have to be under the law. Pero dumating nga si Jesus to set people free from the law. At hindi na natin tatagtaran ng kotak-kotak na verses, ang dami niyan. Very clear. He came to set free. And when Jesus sets you free, you are free indeed. But something happened in history. Christianity, instead of declaring itself free from the law, volunteered to be under the law also. Although that, of course, takes another study. In the case of this woman, at mag-settle na lang tayo sa kanyang case mismo, she was under the law. But she broke that law. And she touched Jesus. And that breaking of the law did not prevent Jesus from letting this woman get healed. In other words, sabi ng kwento, immediately her bleeding stopped and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. There was instant healing, relief, comfort. Mga kapatid, lahat tayo na nakaranas na ng hirap ng katawan. Sakit man yun ng ulo, o sakit ng sikmura, sakit ng buto, sakit ng ngipin, lahat. Alam niyo kung anong kahulugan nung bigla kang gumaling. Biglang tumigil yung nararamdaman mong sakit, hapdi, kirot, at makaranas ka ng ginhawa. At ang babaeng ito, 12 taon ang nagdurusa. Needless to say, the law of the Jews did not prevent God in heaven to let power from heaven flow through Jesus and heal this woman. Because we know that Jesus sets free, even from physical suffering, and even those who break Jewish law. In fact, it was by breaking Jewish law that the woman found healing. Kung nagpa-control siya dun sa law, sabi niya, hindi pwede, bawal pinagbabawal ng religion, hindi ko yung pwedeng gawin. Hindi pa siguro siya gumaling. Make Jesusness govern your daily life, not Pharisiness. Let Jesus be the governor of your life, not the priests of Judaism, not the teachers of the law, and definitely not the Pharisees. Make Jesus as filter all religious regulations that govern your life. Dapat mga kapatid, kung matagal na kayong nag-aaral ng Biblia, mahigit ng 6 na buwan, 1 taon, 5 taon, 10 taon, 15 taon, or more, suriin nyo na kung ano ang mga religious regulations na pumipigil sa inyo, nagpapahirap, tumatali, nagkukulong na hindi naman pala dapat kung kayo lang ay lubos na magpapasailalim sa grace of God given through Jesus. Kung kayo lang ay magsusubscribe to love, to grace, instead of to the law and all the legal punishments under the system of the law which Jesus came to abolish. At kahit sinabi ni Jesus, I came to fulfill the law, hindi ibig sabihin na I came to fulfill it literally, word for word, verbatim. No. Sabi niya, I came to give the law its full meaning, its correct interpretation, and its godly, kind, and gracious application. Kaya yung nagpipilit sa law, pipilit lang. Di ba sabi ni Jesus, I came to fulfill the law? Yes, but ang pag-fulfill niya, hindi yung katulad ng pag-fulfill ng mga teachers of the law. Hindi katulad ng mga Pharisees. Finulfill niya in the Jesus way, in the way that is loving. And so all the unloving and cruel provisions of the law were filtered out by the love of God expressed in Jesus. Kasi kung ipipilit mo yung law as is, parang hindi naman nangyari sa Jesus. Parang nagsayang lang siya ng panahon, pagod at buhay, na ang lahat naman pala ay tulad din ng araw. Walang naiba. Di wala namang nangyari sa pagdating niya. But make Jesusness your guide and standard for what you can and may do. Kaya marami mga, hindi ako pwede ngayon kasi yung schedule ngayon, hindi ako pwedeng lumabas, o hindi ko ito pwedeng kainin, o hindi ko pwede yung isuot. Ano bang sabi ni Jesus tungkol dyan? Make Jesus the governor of your life. And you will be governed in a climate of love, of peace, and grace. Do not needlessly suffer by following religious laws already nulled, canceled, and modified, and fulfilled by Jesus. What saddens a serious scholar of the Gospels is the very little knowledge of Christians about Jesus, and the much less application of Christians in their lives of the teachings of Jesus. Parang pinaghalo-halo si Jesus and the Pharisees, Jesus and the law, love and the law, grace and the law. Kaya nakakalito. Ang tunay na makakalaya yung sasabihin, whatever Jesus allows me to do, I can do. I will not allow Jewish law to stop me from doing what Jesus allows me to do. Yun ang tunay na Christian. Kasi kay Kristo, nananalig. Kay Kristo, sumusunod. At sa pagtutuloy ng kwento, and at once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. Immediately we learn that power that heals resides in Jesus. May kapangyarihan, mahiwagang kapangyarihan na nananahan sa Kanya that is available to those who touch Him in faith and by faith. Hindi lang yun nakalagay doon, yung power na yun. Available yon to those who will tap on it, who will attach to it, and let it work in their lives. Matthew 28:18, Jesus came and told His disciples, I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Anong ibig sabihin ng all authority? Authority over illnesses, authority over physical ailments, authority even over religious law that do not fully express the love of the Father that the Father wanted expressed in Jesus. Sa quantum physics, which I propose many of us study, Kasi marami na tayong ginagawang pagtatangka na pag-uunawa sa mga katuruan sa Bible at marami namang tagumpay sa pag-unawa pero maraming hindi mo pa rin maunawa. And by looking at the teachings of Scripture through the lenses of science and through the lenses of quantum physics, more enlightenment and clearer visions of the power of God become available. Hindi dapat allergic ang mga tunay na anak ng Diyos sa mga karunungan na ibinibigay ng science. Because science is based on natural law. And natural law is authored by God. God, ang naglikha ng lahat ng natural laws, kaya predictable yan, hindi na iiba. The power of gravity is always the same. Velocity, buoyancy. Kaya nakakalipad ang mga eroplano, nakakalanding in darkness, in any inclement weather. Kasi alam na nila yung mga laws of physics that govern aviation. So, napakalaga. And I always propose that we look into quantum physics in trying to add understanding and appreciation of the teachings, even of Jesus. And when we mention quantum physics and laws and principles, we propose that believers take one step further and see the very possible connection between spiritual laws and quantum physics. Pag sinasabi natin yan, gusto natin sanang i-encourage ang lahat na humakbang ng isa pang dagdag na hakbang at tingnan ng koneksyon ng spiritual laws na atin ang alam at pinaniniwalaan at paano natin higit na maunawaan yan when we look through the lenses of science. We suggest that those interested pursue this approach to further understand and apply biblical teachings. Yung may ayaw, edi wag. Pero yung may ibig to pursue, it's very interesting. At hindi yan nakakatakot. Marami kasi sa atin pinalaking takot sa science eh. Akala natin kontra yung science sa Diyos. But I believe that science could be God's ultimate prophet. Alam niyo mga propeta, walang ginagawa yan kundi sabihin at ipaliwanag ang mensahe ng Diyos. And science as God's prophet helps us understand the mechanics of how God works. Ganun lang yun. Hindi na de-deny yung existence of the divine, lalo natin nauunawa how the divine works and through the natural laws that the divine makes. Anong kinalaman niyan sa pag-unawa natin? Kasi even Jesus, ang dami niyang teaching na mas ma-appreciate natin pag dinagdagan natin, nag-triangulate tayo, nilagyan natin ang additional legion table, mas nagiging firm, nagiging stable, na yung understanding natin, mas dagdagan pa natin ng insights. Halimbawa, sa quantum physics, sinasabi yung observation, which is measurement, prediction, and expectation. Ginawa lahat yan ng babae eh. Meron siyang expectation, gagaling siya. Meron siyang prediction, pag hinawakan niya, gagaling siya. Eh, meron siyang measurement, in-observe niya. Pinuntahan niya talaga si Jesus, tinignan niya, hinawakan niya, gumawa siya ng paraan. You have to extract information from the system to change it. And observation necessarily changes the thing being observed. If these principles of quantum physics are clear to you now, then congratulations. I'm sure that you will be able to understand Jesus more. And if not, it's a challenge for us to study some more para mas madagdagan yung appreciation natin. Now, power that heals could be received by believing, by thinking of it, and by focusing on it. At sa quantum physics, ang tawag doon, observation. Tunneling. Pag lagi mong inisip, matutupad. Because kung sinasabi ng Bible, with God, nothing is impossible, yun din ang sinasabi ng quantum physics. When you tunnel it, you can change reality. You can change the situation just by thinking of it often enough. James 5:15, kahit daw prayer, such prayer offered in faith will heal the sick and the Lord will make you well. Yung prayer, tunneling yan sa quantum physics. Yung steadfast prayer, intense tunneling. Sabi, di ba? Pag nag-pray ka, nothing is impossible when you believe. Quantum physics talks about observer effect. The intensity of observation matters. At sinasabi naman sa atin ng Scripture, dapat ang panalangin taimtim. Dapat ang pananalig malalim. Dapat ang pananalig matibay. Yun din yun. The same. All possible outcomes of the system are superimposed into each other. Observation will force the system into one definite outcome. Pag maraming possibilities, halimbawa, magka-college ka pa lang, may possibility na bumagsak ka, may possibility na pumasa ka, may possibility na matapos mo yun in 7 years, may possibility na matapos mo in 3 years dahil marami kang mga ginagawang nakakapagpa-advance sa'yo. May possibility na mag-drop out ka. May possibility na biglang naging pregnant mother ka habang nag-aaral ka. Diba? May possibility na naging honor graduate ka. Lahat yan possibilities. Pero kung ano yung tutukan mo, bigyan mo ng lahat ng energy mo, lahat ng paniniwala mo, at lahat ng iyong natural and normal activities that will go to that end, mangyayari yun. Yun din ang sinasabi ng quantum physics. So yung babae, may possibility na pag hinawakan niya si Jesus, siya ay mahuli, siya ay mapahamak, siya ay mapagalitan. May possibility din na siya ay gumaling. May possibility din na wala namang mangyari, hindi siya gumaling, pero hindi rin siya mahuli, hindi siya mapagalitan. Pero nag-focus siya sa pag hinawakan ko, gagaling ako. Ano ang mga kaharap nyo ngayon ng mga challenges sa kailangan nyo manalig at mag-focus? Itong trabaho ko na to, itong assignment ko na to, I will focus. Pag nag-focus ako dito, matatapos ko to. Gagawin ko lahat ng practical things to do, mananalig ako at hihingin ko sa Diyos na tulungan niya ako matapos ito. Walang dahilan para hindi mo yan matapos. Pero kung ginagawa mo pa lang, baka hindi ko naman ito matapos, baka kulangin ako ng oras, baka ako antukin, may doubt eh. Hati ang loob. Ang hating loob, walang napapala. Kailangan solid para may mangyari. Lahat ng possibilities ay nandyan. Yun ang pagtuunan, paniwalaan, at yun ang magaganap. This is what Jesus says. This is what the Bible says. And this is what quantum physics say. Power that heals could be received by touching. In this case, Jesus. Marami pa mga instances yan. Matthew 8:3, Jesus reached out and touched him. I am willing, he said. Be healed. And instantly, the leprosy disappeared. How do you touch Jesus? Siyempre, hindi naman physically yan ngayon. But you can touch Jesus spiritually, emotionally. Mas maganda nga ngayon eh. Sabi ng iba, naku, salamat naman yung buhay yung iba nung nandyan si Jesus. Nandyan lang, nahawakan nila, nakikita nila. Pwede lang sundan-sundan, puntahan. Pero actually, mas blessed ang mga tao ngayon because Jesus is available spiritually to everybody and anybody who likes to touch Him. Hindi mo na kailangan makipagsiksikan sa crowd, hindi mo kailangan magpunta sa isang definite place because Jesus is just a prayer away. But do we touch Jesus in faith? Pagka ba tayo talaga nagpe-pray, pinaniniwalaan naman natin yung prayer natin o ginagawa na lang natin kasi mechanically magandang gawin, dapat gawin. So, di bali na, mangyari man o hindi, pagpe-pray ko na rin, wala kang mapapala kung ganun ang uri ng pananalig. Dapat talaga solid. At yun ang dapat nating i-develop. How do you develop that? By practice. By believing in little things and through little things at makakapag-practice ka to be ready to believe in big things. Luke 7:14, then he walked over to the coffin and touched it. And the bearer stopped. May sakay na patay yung binubuhat na yon. Young man, he said, I tell you, get up. And the dead man returned to life and got up. In this case, hindi nag-pray yung young man na mabuhay siya. Hindi ipinag-pray ng mga nakikipaglibing na mabuhay siya. Pero si Jesus ang nagkusa at sinabi niya, get up, at nabuhay siya. Nakakonek kasi si Jesus doon sa nanay nung ililibing na ito na sobrang kawawa. Kasi byuda, kaisa-isang anak niya ililibing. So nakakonek ni Jesus yung kanyang puso sa babaeng itong nangangailangan. And that is what is beautiful about our relationship with Jesus. Minsan kahit hindi natin hinihiling, dahil alam niya ang ating kailangan, basta open ka to receive. Tulad nung lalaki na yun, sabi niya, get up. Kung ikaw yung lalaki, patay na po ako, huwag niyo na akong pakialaman. Paano ka nga bamangon? So pag sinabi sa'yo, gawin mo. Minsan, sinasabi sa'yo, ito gawin, ay mahirap naman ho yata yan, huwag na lang, sa ibang araw na lang. Umalilibing ka na, hindi ka na nabuhay. Kailangan ready ka makinig. Kahit na sasabihin pa nga, yung tao na yun patay pero narinig ng spirito niya ang boses ni Jesus. Gaano karaming ulit na mga kapatid, na si Jesus pala yung tumatawag sa atin pero in-ignore natin. At gano'n naman karaming beses na hindi pala si Jesus yun, akala natin siya. Tapos sumunod tayo at tayo nagkamali. That's why we have to develop that sensitive spirit. Kailangan marunong tayong makiramdam. Because even matters of prayer are very, very personal and spiritual. Pinapakiramdaman. Yun ang dapat natin ma-develop. Hindi lang yung mechanical religion, kundi yung very spiritual na nadidinig mo, nararamdaman mo kung ano ang ipinagagawa sa'yo ni Jesus. Ngayon, of course, there was touch involved. Jesus touched this carrier, yung patungan ng patay na binubuhat. Ngayon, sa quantum physics, may tinatawag na quantum entanglement. In quantum mechanics, the observer and the system being observed become mysteriously linked so that the results of any observation seem to be determined in part by actual choices made by the observer. Ngayon, kung ano yan, nosebleed, i-google nyo na lang. Okay? Picturean nyo yung screen, hanapin nyo uli, balik-balikan. Hindi naman talaga madali maintindihan to sa isang reading lang eh. But what I try to do now is to not really make everyone understand this dahil sinisikap ko pa rin namang unawain yan. Kundi, make everyone know na may ganyan sa mundo na pwedeng pag-aralan, na pwedeng i-pursue. Hindi mo lang pwedeng maintindihan agad sa isang upuan lang na ganyan, pero malaman mo man lang na merong ganyan para pag-aralan mo, para balik-balikan at i-review. Now, entangled matter need to have a close relationship, close proximity at the start, or have been created at the same time, or they need to have interactions together. Bakit merong tinatawag na mental telepathy? Yung inisip mo, naisip din niya. Kasi meron kayong relasyon eh. Close kayo to each other, you think about the same thing, meron kayong pare-parehong goal o pare-parehong binabalak sa buhay, sensitive kayo to each other. Kaya sometimes, sabi mo, ay talaga, naisip ko rin yan, sabay pa tayo. Kumisa naman yung sasabihin mo, sinabi rin niya, nauna lang siya ng split second, pero hindi na sasabihin mo, kasi entangled kayo. Sinasabi sa Bible, you are of one heart. Sinasabi naman sa quantum physics, entangled kayo. Kaya merong mga asawa na ang sundalo, ang kanilang husband, biglang nalagay sa panganib sa isang malayong lugar. Ito namang asawa dito sa nananahimik sa bahay, nararamdaman niya, napapanaginipan niya, o bigla-bigla na lang na dumadapo sa kanyang isipan. Yung pala, ganun talaga yung nangyayari sa mahal niya sa buhay at that time. The Bible has a lot of stories that display that, and quantum physics tells that entanglement ang tawag doon. Any measurement performed on one system is instantaneously influencing other systems entangled with it. Kaya ito, power had gone out of Jesus into the man. Kasi meron silang entanglement. Kung ano yung need ng woman, yun naman ang kayang ibigay ni Jesus, lumipat sa kanya. Kasi may connection sila. Ano yung connection? The woman's faith. That if you have that faith in Jesus, you get connected, and that connected becomes the bridge through which whatever power you need from Jesus flows into you. Kailangan merong entanglement. May pananalig. Merong relasyon. Personal. So matapos nangyari yon, he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" Nagtataka naman sila, bakit mo nga naman itinatanong ang ganyang mga bagay? But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it to him. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. The woman was trembling with fear because she broke Jewish law by touching Jesus. Hindi siya kay Jesus natakot. Natakot siya na alam niyang may binebreak siyang law. And that while she was bleeding, and she was afraid because she had many other reasons to be afraid. Naturuan na ng lipunan, ng buhay ang babaeng ito to live in fear. Marami siguro nagsasabi sa kanya, siguro binibleed ka kasi makasalanan ka, yung siya pa'y sinisisi. Maraming ganyang tao nahihirapan ka na nga sa buhay, ikaw pa'y sisisihin. Dahil iniisip nila, kasalanan yan, kaya kami sakit. Kung saan ang gagaling yung mentality na ganun, no, na kailangan ikaw may kasalanan dahil may sakit ka. That's un-Jesus. And Jesus, without asking the woman, without even requiring her of anything, hinayaan niyang gumaling yung babae. But she was healed in spite of her breaking the law. She was healed as she broke the Jewish law. Bakit natin to idinidiin, mga kapatid? Kasi ang daming healing na dapat ay nararamdaman natin, natatanggap natin, pero pinipigil nating dumating yung healing, yung blessing, because we are restricted by religious belief. Mabuti sana kung yung religious belief ay galing kay Jesus. Kung galing kung saan-saan, kung kani-kanino, tapos nakakapigil sa'yo para yung pagkapangyarihan ng Ama galing sa langit, dadaan kay Jesus, makarating sa'yo, dapat mag-review ng ating mga religious beliefs. Hindi lahat ng pinaniniwalaan natin to be a religious law, law ng Diyos. Ang dami-daming imbento ng tao, passing it on to others as from God para magkaroon ng authority, pero hindi pala. Kaya mahalaga yung Jesus filter. Dumating si Jesus para ituwid ang maraming liko, liwanagan ang maraming madilim, itama ang maraming mali, pabaitin ang maraming malulupit na katuruan ng relihiyon. Kaya galit na galit sa kanya yung mga malulupit na relihiyoso sa kanilang panahon. Kasi pinapalaya niya yung mga tao, pinapaluwag niya yung buhay. Jewish law was harsh, especially to women, and especially to bleeding women. Jewish law was harsh even to people who do not break spiritual laws, but only go through natural body processes such as menstruating or prolonged bleeding. Marami naman silang hindi naiintindihan nung araw lalo na yung mga biological processes of the human body. And they demonize the natural processes of the human body, which was designed by God. Di ba? We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Ginawa tayo ng Diyos at binigyan tayo ng mga biological processes, ng biological functions. Tapos marami doon dinidemonize ng religion. So dapat mong i-compare yung demonization of religion with scientific truth because God is the author of scientific truth. Kaya mamimili ka ngayon, ano bang mamasamain mo? Bakit mo minamasama mga bagay na napaka-natural kung i-consider mo how the human body was designed by God? Para hindi ka nagkakaroon ng napakaraming needless restrictions, dusa ka ng dusa, akala mo natutuwa ang Diyos, hindi naman pala. Kaya kailangang suriin ang lahat ng yan. Tulad ng paghawak ng babae kay Jesus at sa damit ni Jesus, hindi natin alam kung sobrang niyang pinakasuri-suri, pero ang alam niya, may sakit ako, kailangan kong gumaling. At naniniwala ako pag hinawakan ko yung damit niya, gagaling ako. Anong religious law ang ihaharang mo sa akin, nagdurusa ako? At inuna talaga ni Jesus yung ikabubuti ng babaeng ito. Time and place-specific Jewish culture and tribal values had been carved in stone and vested with universal power. Israel was a tribe. There are thousands of years in the development of their nation. So mayroong mga period na sila yung mga families, and then tribes, and then regions, and then nation. And each of those periods in their history required unique laws that promoted social order, security, and promoted the interest of their tribe or nation. Pero marami doon, over time, naiiba-iba rin. Hindi naman yung certain law nila ganitong panahon, lahat hanggang ngayon, ganun pa rin Kahit sa Israel, iba na mga law ngayon kaysa noon. Kahit nga mga bansa, di ba, nagkakaroon ng mga constitutional convention. Kasi yung mga dating yun ang dapat law, kailangan na ngayon, may mga present realities that are no longer served by the previous law, so that the laws had to be amended, they had to be changed. Hindi naman universal yung mga yan lalo yung mga legal laws. Hindi naman sila moral laws. Ang dami doon, iniba na ni Jesus para makalaya yung mga tao. Tapos ngayon, ang nangyari, itinuloy pa ng maraming Christians yung mga Jewish laws into Christian churches. That this is to be filtered to set people free because that was the work of Jesus. Non-Jews or Gentile Christians even placed themselves under the Jewish law, which was abolished by Jesus even for the Jews. Needless restrictions, limitations, discomfort, and suffering, yan tuloy ang napala ng maraming tao. Di ba ang pangako ni Jesus, rest? Kasi alam niya, pagod yung mga tao sa kanilang mga religious regulations. Ang ibinigay niya, peace, kasi alam niya, ang daming gulo, awayan ng awayan, dahil sa bakbakan, dahil sa mga doktrina na yan. Kaya sabi niya, let my peace rule. I'm going to give you rest. I'm going to give you easy loads, hindi heavy. Dapat yun i-operationalize. So itatanong mo, easy ba to? Nakakapagpahinga ba to? Natatahimik ba ako dito o hindi? Then magduda ka. Pagka hindi umi-epekto yung love and grace and rest na gusto ni Jesus para sa'yo, baka mamaya sumusunod ka sa mga laws na cancel na pala. O kaya, minodify na niya, pinabait na niya yung application. Jesus came to save people from the law. Never ever forget that. Do not needlessly volunteer to put yourself under the law, especially if it would disadvantage you. If it would make life harder, if it would make pain even more unbearable. Romans 6:14, you no longer live under the requirements of the law. Instead, you live under the freedom of God's grace. So may freedom ba ako na pahabain yung buhok ko, paiksiin, o itali, o ibuhaghag? Wala namang sinabi si Jesus tungkol dyan. Walang pagbabawal siyang ginawa. So bakit ka magpapabawal kung kani-kaninong nakikialam sa buhok mo? Sabihin mo, buhok ko to. Bakit mo pinapakialaman? Ano kinalaman nito sa kabanalan? Ang atupangin natin ay tumulong sa kapwa, maging maibigin, magpagaan ang kanilang mga dala. Huwag itong buhok ko. And yet, maraming mga tao, yan ang specialty, makialam sa buhok, makialam sa damit, makialam sa kakainin mo, ang hindi mo kakainin, etc., etc., etc. Anong tugtog ang papakinggan mo? Anong kanta ang pwede mong kantahin? Wala naman si Jesus sa mga katuruan tungkol dyan eh. Eh ano ba tayo? Christian o hindi? Kasi kung Christian ka, dapat kay Kristo ka sumusunod. Ngayon, kung Hudyo ka, understandable, sundin mo yung Jewish law, pero Hudyo ka ba? Linawin mo nga para hindi ka mahirapan. Acts 13:39, everyone who believes in Him is made right in God's sight. Something the law of Moses could never do. So kung susunod ka sa law ni Moses, papasukat ka sa law ni Moses, hindi ka talaga papasa. Pero teka, bakit ka naman magpapasukat sa Kanya? Eh hindi ba Christian ka? Dapat kay Kristo ka nagpapasukat. Of course, marami naman mga teaching si Moses and the prophets na agree sa teaching ni Jesus. Pero yung mga hindi agree, ay ilagay mo na sa isang tabi, kaya nga dumating si Jesus to set you free. Marami naman mga universal truths na mabubuti pa rin gawin up to now. So piliin mo, dapat mag-filter ka. Kasi dumating si Jesus. 2 Corinthians 3:15-18, yes, even today, when they read Moses' writings, their hearts are covered with that veil and they do not understand. Malinaw, di ba? Pag daw, nakafocus ka ng nakafocus sa law, sa writings ni Moses, may takip ang mata mo, natatakpan. Hindi mo makikita ang dapat mo makita. Kasi ang tumatakip dyan yung belo ng law. Titingnan mo ang buong mundo through the lenses of the law. Therefore, lahat masama, lahat bawal, lahat kulang. But whenever someone turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away. For the Lord is the Spirit, and whenever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Church, there is what? There is freedom. So, tapos puro bawal, puro bawal. Puro bawal, puro bawal. Hindi yan Jesus. Pharisee yan. Kilalanin mo dahil ang daming wolves in sheep's clothing. Ang daming Pharisiness in Christianity. Hindi na-achieve ang gusto ni Jesus. Ang mga tao ay makapagpahinga at lumaya at mag-focus lang on what is truly essential, love. To serve others, to help the needy, to feed the hungry. At dapat din siyempre talagang, sabi na ba, paano yan? Hindi na relevant si Jesus? Napaka-relevant kasi yun ang teaching ni Jesus. Ino-operationalize mo lang, tinatanggal mo yung religious witchcraft, yung religious dress up, kundi pinapababa mo siya sa applicable levels, which is to really love, to take care of people. Yan ang teaching ni Jesus. Hindi nawawala si Jesus. Sumusunod ka kay Jesus. Pag yun ang ginagawa mo. Galatians 3:13, but Christ has rescued us from the curse pronounced by the law. Kung ikaw naman ngayon, taga-promote ng law, kina-curse mo ang mga tao dahil sa law, Kabaligtaran yan ng gawa ni Jesus. Hindi yan ang gawa ni Jesus. Galatians 5:1, so Christ has truly set us free. Now make sure that you stay free and don't get tied up again in slavery to the law. Nagbayad si Jesus ng kanyang buhay para kapalayain, tinubos ka. Nagdusa siya. Tinanggap niya ang lahat ng kaparusahan na dapat ikaw ang tatanggap under the law. So tapos ngayon, papailalim ka pa under the law, binabaliwala mo ang ginawa ni Jesus. But to appreciate the love and grace of God through Jesus, doon mo palang binibigyan ng tunay na honor yung ginawa ni Jesus when you make it effective in your life. Sasabihin ba, uy, bakit ang dali-dali man ang buhay mo ngayon, ang gaan-gaan, para ka namang hindi naniniwala kay Jesus? No. Yan ang ibig sabihin na naniniwala ako kay Jesus. Kasi ang gusto niya, that I will have rest, that I will be free, that I will be happy. So pag ginagawa ko yon, I honor Him. Pero pag pinipilit ko pa rin parusahan ang sarili ko, pagdusahin sa pagsunod sa mga laws na yan to earn my salvation, ibig sabihin, binabaliwala ko yung ginawa niya, ako na lang at gagawa para sa sarili ko. And of course, it will never work. Kaya nga si Jesus, kinailangan gawin yun para sa atin. Ephesians 2:14-15, Christ gave His own body to destroy the law of Moses with all its rules and commands. Kailangan pa bang i-memorize yan? Madali naman maintindihan. Christ died to destroy the effect of the law on us. Dapat lang natin ngayon yun tanggapin, ipagpasalamat, at ipamuhay. Jesus came to save especially women and the weak from much oppression. Luke 8:1-3, Jesus took His 12 disciples with Him, along with some women who had been cured of evil spirits and diseases. Among them were Mary Magdalene, from whom He had cast out 7 demons, and many others who were contributing from their own resources to support Jesus and His disciples. Nakita ninyo, 7 demons daw ang inalis kay Mary Magdalene. Ngayon, dalawa lang naman ang choice mo dyan eh. Gawin mong very literal. Yung talaga mga maitim na anino na may mga pakpak at mga sungay at buntot. Yun ang pinaalis kay Mary Magdalene. Or, yung mga demons na yun were symbols of what ailed her. Depression, siguro, guilt, self-judgment, feeling of worthlessness, dahil siguro ginudge siya ng mga tao, kinonvince siya na wala siyang kwentang babae, wala siyang kwentang tao, etc., etc. So yun na ngayon ang mga demon sa buhay niya na nakaka-depress. Nagkakaroon siya ngayon ng mga panic attack, nagkakaroon siya ngayon ng sari-sari mga phobia dahil maraming demons na gumugulo sa kanya. All related to the law, to guilt, to fear. Pero nung dumating si Jesus sa kanyang buhay, naunawaan niya yung God's love, tinanggap niya yung grace, tinanggap niya yung pagpapatawad at walang hangganan ang paniniwala niya na ang ginawa ni Jesus para sa kanya ay sapat para siya makalaya sa lahat ng mga fears na ito, mga demons na ito, di gumaling siya. At yun ang kailangan natin ibigay sa ating kapwa. Habang ipinipilit mo sa kapwa ang law, pinapagilty mo siya, tinatakot mo siya, ang kasunod noon, depression. Ang kasunod noon, fear, guilt, and feeling of worthlessness. Kailangan lumaya ang mga tao doon. And the only way for people to be freed from that is for them to understand that Jesus paid in our place. He paid all the requirements of the law. And it's as good as if we paid ourselves. That Jesus destroyed the power of the law over us so that we can enjoy a life of peace, a life of plenty, a life of love, a life of rest. So habang pagod na pagod ka pa ngayon, pinapagod mo ang sarili mo, nagdurusa ka sa ka-earn ng blessing, sa ka-earn ng salvation, hindi mo pa naintindihan ang ginawa ni Jesus. So Galatians 3:28, there is no longer Jew or Gentile, slave or free, male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Anong klaseng pahinga, kalayaan ang mauunawa? Kung ikaw ay Gentile, tapos wala na daw palang difference ang Jew at Gentile, edi ngayon, nakalaya ka sa pagiging second class, ka-level ka na ng mga Jew sa kanilang timbangan, di lumaya ka sa feeling second class and outsider. Sabi, wala na daw slave, walang free. So kung slave ka dati, in Jesus, you feel freedom and you enjoy it. Can you imagine what it means? At wala na daw male and female. Kasi alam niyo yung female, for the longest time, lagi yan oppressed. Laging kawawa, laging walang boses, laging chimay, laging kinaapi-api, walang rights. Tapos sabi ngayon, through Jesus, wala nang ganyan na male and female. Pare-pareho na lang. For you are all one in Christ Jesus. Kung kayo yung privileged na Jew, kung kayo yung privileged na male, kung kayo yung privileged na free man or woman, hindi nyo ma-appreciate yung gawa ni Jesus eh. Pero kung kayo yung galing sa margins, kayo yung galing sa mga cracks, kayo yung binuhay mula sa mga pusali at mga imbornal, hindi ba kitang-kita mo, napakahalaga ng gawain ni Jesus. Bakit mo ngayon ipagkakait sa iba yun? Tapos, merong mga post-Jesus modern day Pharisees who restrict women as if Jesus never happened. Sinabi na nga wala nang babae at lalaki, pantay-pantay na. Tapos ayaw mong bigyan ng ministry ng babae sa church. Ano ka, bumalik ka sa Old Testament? Parang hindi nangyari si Jesus. At maraming mga Christian teachers, yan din ang pinopromote. Parang hindi nangyari si Jesus. Tapos Christian church daw. Ang dami-daming restrictions on women. Wala nang ang men and women. What I mean is, siyempre may women, men and women pa rin biologically, pero ang point, hindi mo binibigyan ng position or responsibility dahil sa gender. Operationalize that, and that's only when the love of Jesus will be made real. Jesus also came to heal the body. Matthew 4:23-24, and he healed every kind of disease and illness. Luke 6:17-19, everyone tried to touch him because healing power went out from him and he healed everyone. Hindi lang yung babaeng yan ang pinagaling, lahat ng humipo sa kanya. At ngayon, mga kapatid, pwedeng-pwede nating hipuin si Jesus in a spiritual way. Kaya nga may quantum entanglement. Saan man siya naroon, sabi niya, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. We are forever entangled in a quantum way. We are one in spirit. Pag gusto niyong spiritual yung approach. Now, Jesus came to heal the soul, the spirit, not only the body. The law could make so many people sick emotionally and spiritually. Kaya alam niyo ba, and these are facts, statistics, ang dami-daming religious that need psychiatry or the ministrations of psychiatrists. Kasi mas religious ka, especially if under the law, ang dami mong kailangan pagsisikil ng damdamin, pagtitimpi, pagpipigil, pagkukunwari, nakaka-depression. Yung hindi mo na-express yung talagang nadarama mo kasi pinipigil ka ng relihiyon because religion requires you to act this way, to say this way, and blah, blah, blah. So, ang daming depressed na religious. Mas maraming depressed na religious kaysa sana hindi mga religious. Kasi nga, puro pagpipigil, puro pagkukunwari. Konting-konti lang naman ang talagang tunay na ipinagbabawal ng Ama through Jesus. Napakakonti. And that one of that is to be unloving. Pagka nga nagmamahal ka, hindi ka lang sumusunod sa Diyos, kundi nag-enjoy ka kasi masarap yung feeling na nagmamahal ka. So bakit gusto mo maging judge? Bakit gusto mo maging religious police? Bakit gusto mong mangusig, manghusga at mangtiwalag at sumipa ng mga kapwa mananampalataya? Kahit na gusto ng bad side mo yon, there's still a good side of you that will grieve whenever you hurt people. Kaya nga lagi natin sinasabi, love na lang. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na wala ka nang gagawing tama o gagawing mabuti o i-break mo lahat ang law or bali wala na si Jesus. That's not what love na lang means. Ibig sabihin, nalilito ka kung anong approach mo, kung anong gagawin mo. Love na lang. You cannot go wrong by loving. Matthew 11:28-30. Then Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I'll give you rest. What kind of rest do you need now? Kung meron sa atin na nagpapanggap dyan, nagyayaman-yamanan ka na hindi ka naman talaga ganun kayaman, nagtatali-talinuhan ka, hindi ka naman ganun katalino, or whatever it is, live in truth and by the truth. Maging totoo ka na lang, mas makaka-relax ka pa. Ang hirap-hirap pagka may dala-dala kang burden of falsehood, of untruthfulness, of pretense. Kasi nga, laging required tayo nung law to measure up, to be like this, to be like that. But no, that's not how Jesus measures us. Take my yoke upon you, sabi ni Jesus. Let me teach you because I am humble and gentle at heart. And you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. Kaya kahit sa religious work, pinapadali natin eh. Kulang yung mga voices ng choir. Di kulang, hayaan mo na. Kesa naman sa hirap na yung mga tao, hindi sila makapag-practice, pipilitin mo pa rin para agad-agad na kanta. Padaliin na lang natin yan. I mean, huwag mo sobrang hirapan. Absent po yung teacher namin sa Sunday school. Ngayon lang naman umabsent. Ayaw yun ang pa-absentin. Hayaan mo na, mag-pray na lang kayo dyan, mag-self-reading na lang kayo. Mag-tiktak to kaya kayo. Pwede naman. Hindi naman matatagal yung kaligtasan nyo kung isang Sunday na yung Sunday school nyo, iba yung ginawa nyo. Pero palayain nyo naman yung teacher kung minsan gusto naman niya siyempre mag-picnic. Empleyada siya, nagtatrabaho Monday to Friday, up to Saturday pa nga, linggo na lang free. So, can't we just make life a little bit easier? Kailangan ba talaga performance level lagi ang relihiyon? Hindi ba pwedeng relax? Let's just be ourselves and enjoy whatever could be enjoyed in the present situation. Ganon si Jesus eh. Ang dami-daming taong pumupunta sa kanila. Nagpapapray, humihingi ng kagalingan, etc., etc. Pagod na pagod yung mga disciples. Sabi ni Jesus, "Shh, kayo. Punta tayo sa quiet place para kayo makapahinga at makakain." Si Jesus pa yung sabi, halika muna, takas muna kayo dyan. Naku, kung mga Pharisees yan, hindi, mamatay ka, sumuka ka ng dugo dyan, mga yayat ka, maging kalansay ka, but serve. Hindi ganun si Jesus. Mga kapatid, take it easy. Make it easy on yourselves. Relax. Wala na tayong kayang idagdag na malaki sa ganda ng mundong ibinigay sa atin ng Diyos, kundi maging loving na lang tayo. Huwag niyong gawing poon ang relihiyon. Si Jesus, yes, pero hindi yung religion. Minsan may hindi maka-attend ng church kasi ganito lang yung damit niya. Dumating ka dito, huwag ka lang hubot-hubad. Diba? Yung kina. Meron pa, nung pa, sasalubungin sila ng mga medyo mahihigpit na senior members. Bakit ganyan ang suot mo? Nag-church ka, ganyan. Totoo yan, ha? Tapos sasabihin nito, ate, buong buhay po sa aking karukhaan, pinangarap ko makapagsuot nito. At ngayon, may suot-suot na ako. Bakit yoko ginaganyan? Diba? So isuot mo. Diba? Basta hindi ka lang nakakagulo sa kapwa. Dapat kasi gaanan eh. Because Jesus came to give rest. Now, John 7:37, Jesus stood and shouted to the crowds, "Anyone who is thirsty may come to me." Bakit lagi si Jesus na mayroong teaching about thirst? It's an allusion to Israel's thirst in the desert while following Moses in the Exodus. Lagi silang gutom. Kaya si Jesus sabi niya, "Come to me, I will feed you. Feed my lambs, feed my flock." Lagi silang uhaw. Kaya si Jesus, "I am the living water, come to me." Kung ano yung mga need nila, reality nila, na lagi silang needy, yun ang sinosolve ni Jesus. Kasi sila, di ba, ang tagal-tagal nila sa desert, laging gutom, laging uhaw. Giniginaw pag winter, init na init pag summer. Well, Jesus is the real promised land. Kasi kay Jesus yung rest, kay Jesus yung living water, kay Jesus yung food, siya yung bread of life, siya yung shelter, siya yung good shepherd, siya yung ipinapangako ng Matthew 11:28-30. He said to her, balik tayo doon sa babaeng pinagaling, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." Jesus did not rebuke or scold or punish the woman who broke the law in search of healing. Sabi nga ni Jesus, Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Religion was made for man's sake. Hindi yung tao ang spare parts lang ng machinery ng religion. The need of people is paramount. And Jesus gives people comfort, provisions, and healing in spite of the law, in spite of them breaking Jewish law and traditions. Alam niyo doon sa tabernacle, may mga bread dyan na pagkain lang niya nando sa altar para lang sa mga priest. Pero nung nagutom si David, pinasok niya yun at kinain niya yun at pinakain niya sa mga tauhan niya. At binanggit yun ni Jesus. Matthew 12:3-8. Jesus said to them, "Haven't you read in the scriptures what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went into the house of God, and he and his companions broke the law by eating the sacred loaves of bread that only the priests were allowed to eat. I want you to show mercy, not offer sacrifices." Sabi ni Jesus, kinain nila yung tinapay, gutom sila. They broke the law. Hindi pinagalitan ni Jesus. In fact, the context, ang pagbanggit niya, ay sinasabi niyang, mahalaga sa Ama, sa langit, ang inyong mga pangangailangan, more than religious laws. Mas gusto ko, magbigayan kayo sa isa ng habag. Hindi yung atupagin nyo religious sacrifices. Ang atupagin nyo, magmahalan kayo, magtulungan kayo, tugunan nyo ang pangangailangan ng kapwa. Hindi yung wala ka ng kapera-pera, ayaw pang tigilan ng church ka nang kahihingi sa'yo. Gipit na gipit ka na nga, ayaw ka pang palibanin kahit konti sa mga kung ano-anong mga hinihiling at pinapangako sa yung ibibigay mo. Ang daming ganun eh. Alam niyo sa Facebook, people tell me what's happening in their lives and in their religious lives. Nakakaawa. Sobrang nakakaawa. Hindi na pinagtutuunan ng pansin ng mga congregation nila yung mga need ng tao. Basta kailangan, pera. Wala akong pakialam na hindi makakarola yung anak. Kailangan dalhin dito ang yung mga offering, etc., etc. Hindi ganun si Jesus. Sabi niya yung bread nga na para sa mga priest, kinain nila para sila mabusog. Kailan natin i-apply sa buhay ang teaching ni Jesus? Ginagawa kasi na marami, si Jesus parang dekorasyon, parang motif, pero ang tunay na umiiral ay ang Pharisees. Mark 3:1-6. Jesus went into the synagogue again and noticed a man with a deformed hand. Since it was the Sabbath, Jesus' enemies watched him closely. If he healed the man's hand, they planned to accuse him of working on the Sabbath. Jesus said to the man with the deformed hand, "Come and stand in front of everyone." Then he turned to his critics and asked, "Does the law permit good deeds on the Sabbath? Or is it a day for doing evil? Is this a day to save a life or to destroy it?" But they wouldn't answer him. He looked around them angrily and was deeply saddened by their hard hearts. Eto na yung tao nangangailangan na ng kagalingan. Pagagalingin ko ba yan o wag kasi Sabat ngayon? Inaabangan siya ng mga Pharisees, ng mga teachers of the law, ng religious leaders na manggaling nga, magpagaling at gagawan niya sila ng masama. Dahil nagpagaling siya, Sabat yon. Sa Pharisees, man was made for the Sabbath and for the law. Kaya Jesus sabi niya, the Sabbath was made for man. Ibinigay yan para ipahinga nyo, pero kung ayaw nyo ipahinga, di bahala kayo. Para sa inyo yan. So kung may iba kayong paraan na gusto nyo ma-enjoy yung Sabbath nyo, di gawin nyo. Ako, gusto kong manghil dahil Sabbath. At siyempre, yung pasyente gusto niyang mahil. Kahit pa nga Sabbath, alang mambukas pa. So, bakit hindi natin gawin? Ginagaya mga yan, yung mga laws na yan, sa ikabubuti nyo, hindi para maging amo. And he healed the man. Ganyan din ang mga modern day Pharisees ngayon. Ang ipipilit nila yung legalism. Kahit magiging insensitive and unkind to human need. Then, back to the story, he told the man, "Hold out your hand." So the man held out his hand, and it was restored. At once the Pharisees went away and met with the supporters of Herod to plot how to kill Jesus. Kita niyo itong mga relihiyosong to? Handang-handang pumatay. Bakit nila papatayin? Sabat nanghil. Iyan ang kabulagan ng mga nahuhumaling sa law. Dahil sa law, Dahil sinasabi ng law na ito, babatuhin ka namin, papatayin ka namin, ititiwalag ka namin, sisipain ka namin, kakawawain ka namin, ipapahiya ka namin. Kasi yan ang sabi ng law. Nasan yung pag-ibig ng Diyos? Kaya dapat sariwain, gunitain, alamin. Ano ba talaga ang teachings ni Jesus? Ihiwalay sa mga teachers of the law and Pharisees. Huwag paghaluin sa isang bowl, huwag gawing salad, salain. Now, ang gusto nilang gawin, how to kill Jesusness. Siyempre, wala na si Jesus para patayin physically. Ang mga kalaban ni Jesus ngayon, what they would like to kill is Jesusness. Anything that is a teaching of Jesus that gives the teaching of Jesus priority over the teachings of the law and Pharisees, they want to kill. What healing do you need? Ang naging springboard ng ating usapan yung babae. How are we like her? Anong healing natin na kailangan? Anong pangangailangan natin ang napaka-grave? Wala namang naitutulong yung mga pinupuntahan natin, nauubos na halos lahat ng lakas natin para habulin ang ating need, habulin ang ating want. Isa lang yan eh. Dalhin mo kay Jesus. Hindi yan blank check promise. Totoo yan. That Jesus knows, Jesus cares, and that Jesus came to set us free from all those needs, from all our wants, and even from our illnesses. But you have to touch Jesus in faith, by faith. At kung minsan sa paghahanap natin ng mga katugunan sa ating mga pangangailangan, you have to prioritize your need over religious law. Especially if that law is not of Jesus. So magandang project, kilalanin mo lahat ang pinaniniwalaan mo at sinusunod na religious laws at itanong mo na kay Jesus kung sa Kanya yon o hindi. At kung hindi sa Kanya, pero nakakabuti naman sa iyo, di patuloy mong sundin. Pero kung hindi naman kay Jesus, pero walang buting idinudulot sa iyo, in fact, hirap ang binibigay sa iyo, it's about time na umalis ka dyan sa pagkakakulong na yan, sa tali na yan, and be freed by Jesus. Aming Ama sa langit, patuloy mong pagliwanagin ang aming isip para sa kanya-kanyang personal na kahulugan nito sa aming mga buhay. Para mahanapan namin ang paglalapat, ng application, para ang tunay na kapagpapala na ibinibigay mo through Jesus, rest, peace, love, ay maging totoo sa aming buhay. Turuan mo rin kami, Panginoon, kung kami ba ang nakakasagabal sa kapwa sa paghahanap nila ng lunas sa kanilang mga karamdaman, sa paghahanap nila ng kasagutan sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. Turuan mo kami kung kami ba ang nagiging sagabal. At nawa, kung kami man, maunawa namin ito at baguhin namin aming pananaw, maging instruments of love kami. Maging instruments of healing, instruments of freedom. Pagbulay-bulayan natin ang mga application dito sa ating buhay, sumandaling manalangin in silence and let the Spirit of God finish this message for you.